Hey guys, Doge here. And today, we're going to be doing a bit of a different video today. This is going to be a wildly unfair comparison across Road Atlanta from iRacing to rFactor 2. I literally just bought the track yesterday, so it's a learning process for me still, so don't expect any competitive lap times. But I feel like this is the time where it's going to be really interesting to try to feel out the differences in how you would learn a track in either sim. Also, we're using iRFFB, which I'm going to screenshot and post the settings here for iRacing, and I'm also just going to be using, normal rFactor 2 force feedback. So the rFactor 2 track I just got from the Steam Workshop, so I don't expect it to be, as detailed, but we're going to try to figure out the differences in driving styles, how these cars handle. Again, they're both going to be BMW GT3s, but slightly different in years, I believe. But yeah, let's get going, and I'm just kind of explain how it drives, and this is why I also wanted to put on the wheel camera, so that way we can see how much level of input is required to, manage the car. So let's just come out of the pits here. And I'm starting to learn the break points of this one. I've watched a few races for online too. So we're just going to do a little bit of an outlap here. Very fun track, this one though. I've heard some people say it's their favorite in the entire game. I think the Nordschleife exists, so really no other track can come close to that in terms of adrenaline rush and fun. But there's a few major differences that I would like to kind of go over and explain. One of them definitely being curb behavior. So I drove a little bit in iRacing. I probably spent maybe 15 to 20 minutes in each title on these tracks. So it's just going to be the difference in feel, and then based on the wheel cam, the amount of different inputs that are required. And I'm giving the iRFFB settings as well. And also, just something like this, because of the new GT3 update, I do feel like these cars in iRacing are a lot more stable. So it's going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to test now. And the braking points, I'm still kind of picking up on. Does seem like a very fun track though. A lot of speed, a lot of elevation changes. But yeah, we're going to come into our first lap here, and I expect my times in iRacing to be better. With, how stable everything feels. Most of my hours are in iRacing, not RF2, but again, I'm still learning this track here, so that was obviously really wide. So we're just going to try to set a couple lap times here. So coming up over the hill, so nothing major in terms of, oopsies. Hit those pylons. Nothing major in terms of, the BMW is a very stationary, kind of blocky boat, in my opinion. Maybe I haven't driven it enough yet. I just bought this car recently, too. But it seems like a hard car to spin out. Like, it feels very planted, very glued to the road. So you're not really... I haven't really felt like an oversteer death trap like the old McLaren used to be in this car. But they fixed the McLaren too, which I'm really happy with. Anyways, more so for the purpose of this video here, we're going to set our first lap time, and I know we messed up there. We're just going to set like one more lap time. So you can see based on the camera, I'm getting some good sensations here through the straightaway. We're going to try to reach a peak speed here. Let's see what we tap out at. About 250, 255. Before hitting our brake zone and turning in. Do a little bit of liftoff to get the car to rotate, and then power back down to get the rear end around the corner and straightened out here. Definitely flat out through here. So 122, let's go ahead and try to set one more lap here. I actually don't really know where to brake there, in all honesty. That seemed better than last time though. And then up here, once you see the curb, again I'm gonna hit the brakes here. So right on the power, up over the curb. So the curbs aren't like daunting in this. Like that, I barely felt much. Maybe you can get a representation of that in the wheel. What you see, a little bit of correcting there over those curbs. Nothing crazy. It feels pretty crisp though. It feels pretty accurate. But maybe it's also the like I know that some other cars are a little bit heavier in terms of force feedback than the BMW that I have here. I have to pop into first gear there to slow the car down. Back up onto the curb, feels good. And let's see if we can hit one more peak straightaway here. So in learning this track, I've kind of gathered where the brake points are beforehand, just so I don't look like a complete nub here. But again, learning the track, we hit a 122, and I expect, I'm going to start doing some races later this week or this weekend on this track, and I expect that lap time to, at least crack a 120 or lower, hopefully. because, you know, we're hitting some pretty sloppy lines, obviously, and that's, you know, not necessarily the intent for the video is to completely max out on one super fast lap, but there we go, 121.22. Let's hit one more lap. So I brake too early there, I find. Car rotates fine, back on full power, a little bit of slide. In the BMW, you don't feel too much of the slide in terms of force feedback. That was really bad. I know I'm supposed to go over the curb on that one. You know, I can tell I'm sliding with the audio cues for sure. It's one thing I've kind of noticed about rFactor is the sliding, the force feedback really changes when you're sliding, you know, versus iRacing. Hit that brake zone, get on the power, pop it to second. Could have got a little bit closer to that curb if not over it, and back on the straight. So definitely an enjoyable track, definitely enjoyable feel. Not too much going on, very comfortable ride, and I think part of that has to do with the BMW's, you know, the actual force feedback of the car and, you know, how planted it is. There's not a whole lot of fighting the car going on. Like when you drive the Porsche GT3R, that thing wants to be like chucked around into corners and do power slides and stuff. This thing is just like a boat. It just tackles curbs. You know, it does everything. It just like plows through everything. BMW's an old man car is what I would say before. You know, it's just here to get the job done. It's here to take care of business and go home. So that was our lap time across 3 laps. We hit a 121.57. And I expect that, you know, again, I literally just bought this track, so we're going to do some more practice on it and gonna get some iRacing, like actual races in. Hopefully tomorrow, if not, you know, this weekend, and we'll get some of the GT3 fix going. So that's iRacing. Take what you will from the wheel camera footage here in terms of force feedback. Does feel very good. It feels very accurate. Going over curbs like this, you obviously notice you're going over curbs, and there's not too much correcting that has to be done in the BMW. It's very glued and planted, and I think that's a big part of the reason why when I'm watching it on Twitch, a lot of people use this BMW. It's OP on some tracks. It just does what you want. Doesn't sound particularly cool, doesn't have a unique driving style really. It just works. Alright, so that's iRacing. Let's go see how this track does in rFactor 2. Alright guys, so here we are in rFactor 2. One thing, you know, becomes apparent right away is I do really prefer the way iRacing looks. A lot more of a natural feel. This does feel like a bit of a cartoon. That's the thing with rFactor as well. Like, I've kind of found like some of these cars just kind of feel like Hot Wheels to drive. It's interesting. I don't know how to describe it, but you know, we're learning. All right, so took me a while to figure out this in rFactor 2 as well. You have to disable the pit speed limiter on the car. All right, or did I just turn it on? Oh no, never mind. All right, so here we're at Road Atlanta. Obviously a very different look, and right away I can tell a lot of things. A lot of there's too much to even explain already. Oh man, that's the thing. rFactor 2, there's so much going on. The second you step on the gas pedal, it's just different. It's just different than any other title. That's the thing. And we're gonna generally try to use the same braking points here. So this car in rFactor 2 is definitely less stable. This BMW. It wants to oversteer. It wants to kind of kill you in some of the high-speed corners, and then you're kind of left duking it out. So we went 255 on the straight in iRacing. So I just want to see for reference in this one. I don't know if we'll even hit that. Maybe here down the hill. Oh yeah, we're going past that. Okay, so I'm gonna brake a little bit earlier just to adjust for that, and to try to stay alive, of course. So, we almost lost her already on lap 1. Let's just try to make it through here and stay alive. So rFactor 2. This car doesn't sound particularly well in either game. There are some cars in iRacing that just sound incredible, and then there's some cars in rFactor 2 that just sound incredible. So this ain't really one of them. I was driving the Audi R8, or R8, yeah, I think it was the R8, GT3 in rFactor 2. On this one downloaded level, I'm gonna make a video on it for sure, because I think it's the only map or track or whatever you want to call it. I'm an FPS gamer that can contest with the Nordschleife for fun factor. Oh my gosh. So right here, that's it right there. That's the main thing that I want to bring up. So rFactor 2 does something unique that I don't think other sims do. And it's one thing to go over the curb and know you're going over a curb. It's another thing to feel the textures change. So like on Spa, there's like a green padding that when you go up the curb and over the curb, there's a padding. And when you go onto that padding, you feel the squishiness in the left side of your hand. Like you know that you're not on the tarmac anymore. Like it's just instant, the texture change. So when I hit a curb, it's like all of a sudden it does feel like I'm driving on some like plastic or something weird versus the actual, you know, tarmac. Oh, almost lost her there again. So definitely not as steady as and we're using, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention, we're using 9 on the force, or 0.9 on force feedback, 2.5 min force, and no, all the driving assist off. So let's go ahead and try to set a lap here. A little bit of extra correction there needed. Let's try to see if we can hit around the same break points as iRacing. Oh, those curbs. Get a little bit of re-correction going there. I have to lift there. I'm pretty sure you can flat out that, but I'm just not quite there yet. I don't want to oversteer here, so I'm attacking that curb straight on. And here we back are. I can calm down for a little bit on the straight. Another thing that's basically pretty noticeable too. These curbs do want to like pull you in, and they want you to like over rotate and basically die. So I got to be pretty careful in accelerating out of them. One thing that's becoming apparent to me right now is my my forearms are a little bit more tired already. So there's definitely a lot more fighting, and I don't know if it's just again, these aren't the same cars. It's not the same track exactly. Considering I just got this off of like a Steam Workshop or something, so I don't know the legitimacy of it. Alright. Let's go ahead and try to set one more lap here. So, the iRacing one I'm definitely more confident in. And I don't know, you know, if that has to do with that BMW stability, or if that's just I have a lot more hours in iRacing. But yeah, there's definitely a lot more confidence in the iRacing GT3s now than there used to be. Even from the time that I started playing it to now. Oh, yeah, that curb, but it definitely wants to kill you. Let's see if I can flat out this here. I know if I time my, yeah, there we go. Lost it a little bit, but it can still flat out at least. Don't over rotate here. I'm going on the sand. Oh my gosh. We might have to hit one more lap. This is actually this is pretty cool. Yeah, there's just a lot of... The lap times are, what, 123? So a little slower than even the first few in iRacing. So, you know, that's to be expected. I don't have as much experience in rFactor 2. But it has been fun to kind of mess around with for the, you know, offline experience. But then again, I want to keep practicing iRacing because that's where my lap times actually matter, and, like, getting better matters because it's a more of a online system in, you know, iRating that you would want to get up in rFactor 2. That stuff doesn't really happen. Alright, we're going to set one more lap here. I want to try to push it. So let's go and set one more here. Now that we're kind of a bit more familiar with how the car is going to handle. That took some adjusting. So we're at 123. Let's brake a little bit later up here. Try to rotate the car in a bit earlier. Back on the power, and once we see that curb, let's hit our brake. That curb wants to kill you, so I'm going to keep the wheel a little bit straighter over there. And let's turn in early enough. Maybe we can flat out here without... No, I had to lift. The female dog lift. All right. Oh, the curb killed me. I felt that was going to happen. Let's get back on track. Let's finish this lap up. Let's get back on track. So the texture change is just so unique. That's such a unique thing. Like, the left part of my wheel is feeling all the bum 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 of the tarmac, like the normal driving feel, and then the curb just, it feels like you're driving on something completely different. Very interesting. Let's not spin out twice. I lost it again. Oh no, are my tires gonna be all like grassed up now? Is that a thing? I don't even know. Sanded and grassed up. Alright, we might have to give this one more shot here. Alright, so coming in here for one last attempt. since that was a 149. Brake a little bit later and turn the car in a little bit earlier. Oh, the curb wanted to kill me there as well. Not a very good lap already, but let's hit the brakes here. Let's get over this curb. Wheel back to straight so that way we don't over-rotate or oversteer and kill ourselves here. Let's try to turn in early enough. Still have to lift. Oh, man. That was some fighting there to keep the car from dying. Back on the curb. There we go. I fixed the error I did last time. I fought where the curb wanted to take me. Hit the brakes here. Turned in the car a little bit late there, but still should be able to get back on the power here. I had to pop down to first so the engine to slow me down. Didn't trust my own braking there. Feel like I might have spun if I just slammed the brakes. Again, we're still learning this track, but there's definitely a lot going on in rFactor. Very, very unique driving style. And you know, that could be this BMW that I'm driving. The track, again, it's definitely not the same quality as the iRacing track. Definitely, this car definitely you want to straighten out as soon as possible after some of these corners here. Alright, 122.3. So, that's about it. That's the most unfair comparison that you will probably ever see. You know, this random downloaded version of Road Atlanta. I just thought it'd be fun to make because iRacing is going to be Road Atlanta, and I actually do think this is a pretty fun track. I just need to get my lap times down now and get back into practicing. And then, you know, watching some other fast racers. That's what, watching other racers who get really good lap times and seeing what they do has actually been really, really helpful. So I'm going to keep doing that. But yeah, that about does it. So I think the iRacing one, you know, I'll probably put a lap in that just has the wheels showing. But yeah, that about does it. So in terms of a direct comparison, this is definitely a lot harder to just kind of pick up and go. I don't know if that has to do with the setup, the car, the downloaded track versus, you know, official content type of thing. This is definitely a lot of, you know, sliding, correcting, the curbs want to kill you, careful on your brake, careful on your gas, that sort of thing. The BMW now in iRacing just feels super planted. It's very different style, but it makes sense at the same time. So, I don't know. They're both very enjoyable. They're both very enjoyable to drive. I think this one's a bit more challenging. But I think there's going to be a lot of good races at Road Atlanta for iRacing, so I'm excited to do some this weekend. Anyways, let me know if you guys have any thoughts or opinions on the two. Obviously, this is not a fair comparison, as I've said. I'm just kind of making this for fun. You know, I still like the force feedback better in rFactor 2, but I think there's some elements of driving that I still like in iRacing. So, yeah, that's going to about do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this completely random video. Take care.